Let me ask you a question. If the county council wanted to provide a car for the executive's use, that doesn't have to be in here, does it? I mean, the county council just votes to do that? I mean, when I read these definitions, I don't see car for executive in here.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's normal county policy that certain officials are entitled to the use of a car. I don't know that it would have to be in the charter.
Well,
I don't think so.
what this says is that you can't discriminate for elected officials. So if the policy was that every elected official gets a car, that would be a problem with this particular provision. On the other hand, we know that county employees do get cars, and chances are this would not be atypical if you gave.
So this is in some policies now that we would just carry over, so it would still apply, right?
It would be whatever the policy of the county is, I think, as Victor
As long
refers
as
to it.
we don't, the charter doesn't contradict the policy, it'll stay.
Right. Then it'll stay. Okay, we'll bring it over.
I guess my question would be, under charter form of government, who sets policy? The council or the executive? Or do they both set policy within their
They
realm?
both within their purview. So when we're talking about day-to-day affairs, just basic management issues, it's going to be the executive. The council can set policy that impacts on how the executive does their business, but it would be through ordinance. So we have policy-making authority. It's a little constrained by the fact that it's got to be an ordinance. And they can impact on day-to-day affairs, but they got to do it by ordinance. It's just the legislative prerogative. Got to do it by ordinance. It's just the legislative prerogative that they can do.
So one issue that we just haven't talked about yet with regard to 406A, the number that is in there is 95,000.
Leave it blank for now.
Leave it blank?
Yeah, that would be my suggestion because.
We can leave it blank, but can we just quickly talk about how are we going to come up with this figure? Just the process. I'm not saying we have to do it now, but
I think
what's the process?
How much is the commissioner president's salary?
I don't know it off the top of my head. 65,000.
You have
65,000, I think.
We have all the rest of them. On some chart you've given
Yeah,
us.
somebody give us a chart with the county executive salaries.
Yeah, we've had it.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. But
But I'm assuming that number is kind of right because each commissioner make around 45,000. So for part time, so full time would be about 90,000.
Well, let's look at what the
No,
county
it'd be more than
administrator
that.
makes right now. He makes a great deal more than that.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was wondering about that
And
too.
the county executive has the same responsibilities as the county administrator. In fact, the county administrator is responsible to him. So they have to be sort of an equivalent issue. And I think the way we should approach this is at some future meeting, sit down and look at the size of the counties, the size of the government, and what those people make, and come up with our best guess of the best comparison to this.
And you believe that
Rather than having a lot of discussion about it right now, because we haven't done that.
And the rate
homework.
would be more than 95,000.
Oh, I think so. I think definitely far more.
Anybody wanted to do it.
We have to keep this in, I think contextually keep this in the framework of the position of executive. An executive level position outside of government with a level of responsibility this person has. $100,000 is not a lot of money to do what this person would be responsible for doing.
Agreed.
Nor is $300,000 an appropriate number for the position either. So somewhere in between those two numbers is probably where we lie. But I think we probably, as we think this through, not to have that discussion today, the idea of a $100,000 salary in this market, meaning DC Metro, is probably on the floor as opposed to the ceiling where that number should be. My thought.
1,000 to 300,000. There is, in addition to that, and I'm not disagreeing, at some point the number gets high enough to be politically unpalatable.
Sure.
So that'll be another consideration. And certainly Ernie's comment with regard to what the county administrator makes, all those things are things that we can take into account. I don't know. And I believe it was, and I think it was